Welcome to our Samhain livecast under the full moon. I'm so happy to be here with all of you today as we get started. And as people start to hop on, you might notice that I have shared the How Sexy Are You quiz with all of you in right under the video. So if you haven't taken the quiz yet, or you haven't shared your result, now is the time to do it. So please go ahead as we're getting started to just take a quick piece of paper and a pen and just jot down your answers so you have that number handy as we're getting started. And you'll notice that both Heidi and I have divulged our answers. Heidi is my wonderful right hand for today's live cast. So welcome to whoever's joined us in addition to Heidi. If you can, tell us your name and where you're joining us from. I'd love to see who's here with us. Alrighty. Hi, Danielle. Welcome. And Danielle says she's also a 9. Thank you so much for sharing. I know it's a little bit unnerving. Hi, Julie from Virginia. Welcome. And Tamara from Colorado. Welcome. It's so lovely to have you. Sharing our live cast numbers. Oh yes, Tamara says I'm a 9 too. And Vivian's here from Toronto. Welcome, Vivian. It's a little bit vulnerable, right, to be sharing our results, especially for me. You think I'd have a higher score, right? Hi, Danielle from New York. Welcome. And the truth is, I haven't been feeling so sexy lately. My back's been hurting a lot. So, bad shoes can really do that too. Hi, Kelly from South Carolina. Welcome. So happy to have you. So as you hop on, if you haven't taken the quiz, please do and have your number handy. Hi, Emily from Pennsylvania. Welcome. It's so nice to see you again. And we're going to be doing things differently tonight. So if you've been joining us for our live casts over the past few months, hi, Heather. Nice to see you from Boston. And Heather, Scott a 10. Excellent, Heather. Welcome. We usually do a full moon meditation every month for the full moon, and we're changing things up a little bit tonight. And we're going to be doing some really beautiful rituals instead in celebration of Samhain and the full moon. So Samhain, if you've been following my emails and some of the posts on our Facebook group, is the pagan festival that was sort of renamed as Halloween. Hi, Jen. It's so nice to see you from Vancouver. Welcome. And Samhain is really the transition, like a beautiful way to mark that transition from the light of summer and moving into fall. So fall equinox is the beginning of that transition that we celebrated at the end of September. But this is really where the veil between the seen and the unseen worlds becomes the thinnest. So Halloween, in its very commercial sense, takes that into the, in the way of interpreting it in the way of like, goblins and ghosts and witches and warlocks and all of those magical / scary beings that represent the dark of the night and the transition of our souls into the other world. So traditionally, though, Samhain was really about, it's actually a new year. It's the beginning of the new year in terms of the pagan and goddess tradition. And so it's literally the dying away of the old and then that slumber to be reborn in our newness. And it's also the time of the enchantress. One of the primary goddesses of Samhain is Hecate. And Hecate is like an old witch. She's also a triple goddess. And so even the goddess that appears as an old hag kind of witch still embodies the archetypes of the mother, the maiden, and the crone all wrapped into one. But one archetype that's often not talked about is the enchantress. And that's really what we're going to be diving into tonight. It's that sexy, seductive energy of the witch that's magical, that's the seductress, that can, entice any man to do her bidding. And that's the energy that we're going to be tapping into as we connect to the full moon tonight. And for our friends in Australia, many of you have reached out to me. I totally recognize, and I think we're going to start to make more of a conscious effort to name this, that while it's Samhain for us in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Southern Hemisphere, it's the transition into Beltane. And the cool thing about that is Beltane is also a very important transition into the sensual and sexual expression, but of the reverse season. So instead of the magical enchantress, Beltane is, actually I would still consider Beltane to be connected to the enchantress energy. It's just literally at the opposite end of the wheel. And so Beltane is really a celebration of the coming together of the goddess and the god, in celebration of the budding of the spring and the beginning of that new season of life and the burgeoning of summertime. So the love of the god and the goddess is really central to Beltane, and we're going to get into a little bit more of that in terms of connection and relationship with our partners. But the enchantress energy of Samhain is much more personal. It's much more about your personal relationship with your sensual, sexual feminine. And so that's really going to be the focus, most of the focus of tonight's live cast. So if you're just joining us, make sure that you've taken the How Sexy Are You quiz and you have your number handy. Because as I mentioned, we're doing things differently tonight. Instead of straight up meditation, we're actually going to focus on ritual. And ritual is so much in the path of the feminine and the path of the goddess. And of course, ritual magic is very potent for us at this time of the year. As we're celebrating Halloween and Samhain, and the veil between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown worlds is pretty much, it's considered to be down right now. So that our ability to connect with our spirit, with our intuitive self, with our inner being is actually most accessible right now. And so there's this blending of our ego selves and our pure essential selves. Heidi, I don't know if you can answer Emily. I'm not sure. She has a question about the quiz. If you could help her out there, that would be great. So essentially, I'm just going to toggle screens for a moment. You'll see that the quiz is kind of split up into 3 different areas. And so let me just see if I can pull that up easily. Here we go. All right. So in the first three questions, it's really about connection to our sexual and sensual selves in terms of our expression of our sexuality. And then the next three questions is more of your relationship with your body. And then the last three questions, it's more about how you connect with your partner. So Heidi just shared the quiz again in case you're having trouble seeing it. It's the very first post under the video. And so if you haven't shared your score yet, and don't worry if it's a lower score, please go ahead and share that with us now, because we're going to be using that as our jumping off point as we get going here this evening. All right, so I'll just let anyone who hasn't shared their score do that. Just give you a few more moments. Jen says 5. Oh, don't worry, Jen. We're going to take care of you. Not to be concerned. So again, don't worry about the score. Julie says, I'm a 10. Perfect. Vivian, I hear you. My score changed when I reread it too. So I think Vivian's saying around 4 or 5 mostly. It's those minus numbers. They really get you, eh? The -2 really changes things around. Emily says 7. Awesome. Thank you, Emily, for sharing. So, of course, this is not a perfect quiz. It's more for fun. And because we're getting the minuses, it kind of takes our numbers down more than potentially they would be. So just to give us an idea, I think more than anything, a starting point, right? Of where would we like to be in relationship to these very few, granted there's only 9 questions here, expressions of our sensual sexual expression. And of course, there's other ways that you might be expressing that energy in your relationship with yourself, in your relationship with your partner, out there in the world that we haven't put down in this quiz. So please take heart. It's not a hard and fast thing. But what I want us to focus on now, because just so you understand this evening, our focus is really about connecting, right, with our sexy, sensual, feminine energy. And really allowing it to take center stage, letting our pleasure become the focus. Because so much of our lives is so wrapped up in doing and achieving, getting things done, planning, organizing, just keeping everything running from day to day, in your house, in your, job, if you have a family at home. There's just always so much to do that how often are we actually focused on our pleasure? So that's really what tonight is about. So I really hope you have your chocolate handy. And if you don't, grab something that you feel is delicious and luxurious and really yummy that you can use in place of the chocolate if you don't have it for our chocolate ritual. And Emily, thank you for chiming in. Yes, it's so busy. Life is just so busy, and I can totally relate. And I'm sure so many of us can, that here's the time that thankfully we're all carving out to put our pleasure at center stage. And so as we go forward, I want to just put a question out to you. And that question is, which area do you want to deepen your sensuality in the most? And so we have 3 options. Your sexy confidence, which is A, B, relating to your partner, and C, feeling good in your body. So A, B, or C, which area do you want to deepen into your sensuality the most? So I'm going to give you a chance to answer that question. So as I said, today is going to be a little bit different compared to our regular live casts. And I'm sure you're going to love it just the same. So which area do you want to deepen into your sensuality the most? Heidi says B. So most. I know it's we really want to say all of them. Julie says C. Heather says B. Emily A. And Kelly Jo says A, B, and C. So try to choose your top one, Kelly. Jen says A, and Danielle C again, but mostly all of them. And Vivian B, relating with my partner, because you're feeling a little disconnected. I hear you, girl. So for me, I would say it's A right now. Mostly sexy confidence, which I think then spills over into relating to my partner. And she's landing on A. Perfect. So I'd love for you to reflect and share, if you like, why is this important to you right now? Why is what you've chosen, whether it's sexy confidence, which is A, B, relating with your partner, or C, feeling good in your body, why is this important to you right now? Feel free to journal. Feel free to share with us here. And this is important because it's, again, part of the dive that we're doing tonight to start to deepen this connection with our own sensual and sexual selves and our pleasure. It's important to know what is the deeper intention, what is the deeper reason that this is important to you. So take a few moments with this question and really sit with that. So I'd like for this to become kind of your focus, your intention that you'll hold now for the rest of tonight's full moon gathering with all of us. So Heather sharing infertility treatments has taken the fun out of sex, making it more of a timed chore. Indeed. So given that fertility treatments do that, and it really does take the fun out of our sexual connection with our partners, and also really takes us out in our own minds, right? Because we're constantly planning around ovulation, and that's just exhausting. Why is it important for you to shift this? So, and in terms of shifting it, how do you want to feel instead? I think that's a really important piece to really connect to. If it's the fun is out of that sexual connection, and connecting with your partner is what you want to focus on most in terms of deepening your sensuality, how do you want it to feel instead? That's really important to consider. So I'll just give a few more moments for you to journal and reflect and share with us here. Emily, let's see. Emily says, go for it. Not doubting things myself. Know my worth. I am worthy. Having fun and feeling sexy, less serious and more playful. How beautiful. Thank you, Emily. So basically, just go for it. And knowing your worth. That is so powerful. And I want to just come back to that in a moment and just see. Julie says C, which, let's just remind myself, is feeling good in your body. because I want to feel vitality as I show up each day and enter the holiday season. Such an important point. Thank you for saying that, Julie. My health is the foundation for all that I do and how I feel each day. Perfect. I love that. And then we have Kelly Jo. Sexy confidence is important to me because I love the feeling of being free. I don't want to be afraid to express myself anymore. I just want to be free, a free being who can help others to be alive and authentic, to live a happy, authentic life as well. I don't want to live in fear of myself and how others will think of me. Beautiful. I just love all of your intentions. And Heather, to get out of our heads, to be in the moment and enjoy each other completely, forget the infertility and live now. Perfect. So I want to just come back to what Emily was saying, which is really about having fun and feeling sexy and being less serious and more playful. This is really at the heart of what we're talking about tonight and what we've been talking about for the last few weeks, if you've been following us over email, because it really does take away the fun whether it's we're focused on trying to conceive or even try to live up to some standard of sensuality or sexuality that we just don't really fit into, especially as we get older. In your 20s, it's a totally different place to be in life and exploring your sexuality and your sensuality. And, with a few more years past 20, it's now so easy to reflect back and say, wow, so many things I didn't appreciate about my body and myself back then that I really wish I had appreciated, that I had really felt good about and owned fully, and really taken advantage of, which is, almost 2 decades later, something that you can look back and say. And so one of the questions I recently put out to the Facebook group is, so where we are right now, in 20 years, we're going to look back at this point of our lives and say, I wish I had enjoyed this more, and I wish I had enjoyed that more, whether it's part of your body or part of your sexual expression. And so I want you to also consider what you have now that you can enjoy more, that you can appreciate and value more. And just keep that in mind as we're moving forward and getting to the ritual that's coming at the end of our live cast, which we'll be actually doing off camera, off the live feed. And I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But before we do that, I just want to guide you through one more exercise. And if you were participating in our Facebook group earlier, I think it was last week, I asked everyone the question, which sexy celebrity do you admire? And so if you've known me for a while or been following me for a while, you know that my favorite sexy celebrity is Penelope Cruz. And I just love how she speaks, how she walks in the world, how she carries herself, her smile, her laugh, her sense of owning her body and her authentic expression are all qualities that I really love. And I love to play with that energy of kind of like putting her energy on, trying her energy on. So I'd like for us to just take a moment, and for those of us who are here together now, can you tell me who you think is the sexiest woman that you know, ideally a celebrity, just so that we could all connect with as well? And I know that for Heidi, it's Angelina Jolie, who I also think is very, very sexy. And I'll let some of you chime in as well. So who do you admire in terms of a sexy celebrity? So yes, Heidi says Angelina Jolie. Kelly Jo, Erica Badu. Oh, I love her. And I missed the other one. And Rihanna. Oh yeah. Both of them are extremely sexy. With a kind of what I love about sexy celebrities, and Julie says Jennifer Lopez, yes, that I feel like Erica Badu, Rihanna, Angelina Jolie, there's kind of a dark aspect to the sexual, sensual expression. There's something edgy. There's something that's not playing it safe. And that is really the energy of the enchantress. There's this sense of seduction in the way that she looks, in the way that she carries herself, in the way that she walks in the world and connects with others. There's an ownership, and I want you to just take a moment, if you would. And Danielle says Lana Turner. Yeah. To really take on the persona, how you perceive your sexy celebrity, whoever it is, and really try on her energy. And notice what that feels like in your body. Welcome, Elizabeth. Nice to see you. So whether it's Angelina Jolie, whether it's Jennifer Lopez, whether it's Penelope Cruz, who else has been mentioned? Oh yes, Rihanna or Erica Badu. Beyonce is another one I think that's super sexy. Scarlett Johansson, Lucy Liu. These are all the sexy celebrities of my era anyway. And really take a moment and try on that energy. And you might even close your eyes as you do this if you want to go deep inside to access that energy. And I want you to take a moment and really feel into your body. That when you embody this sexy energy, what happens inside? What do you feel? What do you think? How do you hold yourself? Notice what it feels like inside. I immediately sense a feeling of mischievousness, of power, and playfulness, a sense of just a lot of fun, actually, and of holding my body in a way that there's a sense of confidence and happiness at the same time. So I want you to just take a moment and feel into that experience for yourself. When you embody your favorite sexy celebrity's energy, what happens inside of you? How could you imagine speaking or thinking? What's the emotional field inside of you as you hold this energy. And I'd love for you to share anything that comes up with you as well. All right. So Danielle is saying, let's see, walking taller and not second guessing my actions. Love it, Danielle. And let's see. Jen says powerful. Yeah. Heidi says not taking any bullshit. Love it. And Heidi says I immediately sat up straighter. Julie says, I've got swagger. Yeah, baby. I feel playful, flirty, and ready for adventure. I love that. All right. So, such a simple exercise. And it's one of the ones I love to use regularly because immediately you can shift. It's so easy to access when you play with a celebrity's kind of like wearing that energy, putting that energy on. It's an instant shift. And I think one more person made a comment, so I'm just going to scroll. Vivian says, oh, I love Charlize Theron. And sense of power, strength, control. Good question. Charlene says, are these masculine qualities that I'm finding sexy? I love this question. Thank you, Vivian. So now this is a really interesting juxtaposition of, how do we experience our own powerful sexual feminine? It's interesting that there is a sense of what we might relate to as masculine in that ownership of power, like someone like Charlize Theron or someone like Angelina Jolie really holds, or what's her name that someone mentioned? I'm scrolling. I forget. I can't find it. Anyways, I'll just go on. When it comes to me, I'll let you know. Rihanna. There's really a sense of kind of like a badass energy. And so we consider in some level, as Vivian said, that it's somehow masculine. When really, I really like to think of it, of course, we all have a balance of masculine and feminine energy. Feminine doesn't always have to be soft. It doesn't always have to be the sense of, kind of like flowery and that really receptive feminine in the way of what feels kind of the softer side of the feminine. The enchantress is not that energy. The enchantress is very much a commanding, a directing, come hither and I'm going to tell you and show you what to do kind of energy. And now for those of you who don't know about your 4 different goddess archetypes, if you haven't been following me for that long, you may not know. So I'll just quickly go through that with you, because the enchantress is simply one of 4 of our feminine expressions. So the next one in the wheel coming up, so autumn is really the time of the enchantress. The winter is the time of the wise woman. And more of the crone energy. Then we have the maiden energy, which is more playful and fun and carefree. And then the energy of the nurturer or the lover, or also I call her the mother energy. Traditionally, she's called the mother. And so that's really, again, more about the softer feminine, the blossoming, the abundant, the loving and nurturing and caring. So all these are aspects of the feminine. But as you've hit on really accurately, Vivian, the enchantress is much more embodying that masculine, if you will, quality of, I'm going to tell you what I want, and I'm going to show you what I want, and then you're going to give it to me. So there's really that sense of commanding and directing. And, I think of someone like, for example, Penelope Cruz, which is much more subtle in that communication, but it's still very much a directing energy. It's not necessarily a soft, feminine, ha ha ha, but there is very much a mystical, mysterious, seductive quality about the enchantress that's important to connect to and understand as we go forward. All right, so let's get ready now as we're coming to the close of our online virtual circle. I'm going to be guiding you through the chocolate ritual, which is going to be delicious. And before we do that, right after we do that, then my invitation to you is to do a really powerful ritual. So actually, I'm going to, okay, let's do the chocolate ritual first, and then I'll explain to you what we're going to do after we log off here. And so there's a continuation, there's a part 2. So make sure that you stay on until we get to that point, all right? So to get ready for the chocolate ritual, I'm going to invite you to light your candle. So grab your matches or your lighter. So we're going to open sacred space. So I like to take a moment to look at the flame, igniting the flame of our sensual feminine energy and the Samhain moon. And then just connect with that aspect of yourself that you would like to strengthen. Sexy confidence, your connection to your partner, or your relationship inside of your own body. And let's put the candle in a safe place. And grab your chocolate. So again, we are really taking a moment to remember the pleasure, right? So we don't want to just rip open the chocolate if it's still packaged. Like, actually take a moment, maybe smell the chocolate that you have. I love mint, so I got organic fair trade peppermint chocolate. So I'm just going to take a moment to really enjoy opening the wrapper and then seeing the first glimpse of this dark chocolate. I'm going to open the whole thing and really just take in that smell. So we want to have a full 5-sense experience, really engaging all of our senses. And I'm going to flip this chocolate over so I can see it. Okay, so you're going to break off a piece of your chocolate. And as you bring this chocolate up to your face, take a moment to really look at it and take it in. Feel the hard edges of the chocolate. You smell it. Just take in the full sensory experience of what you're about to put in your mouth. And then begin to bite into it slowly. And feel the hard edges against your tongue. And then the softness and the flavors as it melts in your mouth. And keep eating your chocolate slowly, really enjoying it. Really want you to take in the full pleasure of the experience. And maybe sounds come, I'm a very audio eater, which I realize can sound really funny at restaurants. Really enjoy your chocolate. See if you can really slow it down. Feel that chocolate melting. I'm going to take one more bite. We're going to move on. Notice how different it is to actually take your time. Instead of gobbling it down, to really take in the full experience. I'm going to do that with this last piece, and I'm not going to talk. Almost feels like a spiritual experience. So, as you finish this chocolate, I want you to take a moment to notice how you feel. What do you feel in your body? How do you feel it? Personally, I feel really relaxed and much more in my body. Real sense of kind of having dropped in more into myself. Emily says, indulgent, special, and calmer. Love it. What beautiful words. Heather says, lightening in the heart, grounding in my root chakra, playful and uninhibited. I think that was in embodying her sexy goddess, but I wonder if you feel the same or more of that after the chocolate. Heidi says present. Yeah, I feel that too. Wow, just from eating a piece of chocolate. Elizabeth says special and happy. Nice. So, if you have comments to share, do that before we jump in. We're going to change gears. So, I want you to take that experience, don't lose it, as we move into the next part of our live cast, part 2. Danielle says, awakened senses. Love it. So now we're going to change gears, and I want you to tell me what you dislike about your body. So completely different. And as you do that, I want you to actually notice what happens to the calm presence. What happens to the sense of ease and relaxation and peace that you might be feeling right now when you think about the things that you dislike about your body. And just jot them down. The things that you dislike about your body. I'm actually going to do the same thing. What are things you would like to change about yourself? Think body parts. So a lot of us, myself included, have problems with the round belly thing happening over time. I really struggle with my dark circles. I'm finally over caring about my nose, which really bothered me for many years. Danielle says the goo. I think you're talking about the chocolate still. Elizabeth says, I wish I had blue eyes. Okay, so let's think more about the body parts that are actually part of your body. So yes, Heather, big hips, arms, and ankles, just to help you with this answer the question, what do you feel is too big, too small, too round, or not enough? Okay, not curvy enough. Thank you, Elizabeth. Perfect. Not, I don't know, strong enough, not muscular enough, not thin enough. So take a moment and really think about this, answer this question, what's to this or not enough that? Isabella, my round belly, I feel you there. So this is going to be an important list because it takes us into what we're going to do next. Okay, and what we're going to do next is shift these negative beliefs. And this is the important part 2 of our life cast. So let's just, a few more answers. Vivian says not busty enough. I feel, Kelly Jo, I feel top heavy, belly fat, not curvy enough too. And Emily says height, I'm a shorty. Okay, perfect. So we got our list of negative beliefs about our bodies. And like I said, we're going to shift. We're going to shift these negative beliefs. That's the goal for this evening. And how we're going to do that is through a beautiful ritual from Anita Revel, who I believe is from Australia, who I used to follow ardently, and she doesn't really have that much going on anymore as far as I know, but I love her work. And what we're going to do is the mirror ritual to fall in love with your perfectly imperfect body. And so I'm going to go through the steps of the ritual, and then Heidi's going to add the steps to the support circle. And so what we're going to do, ladies, is we're going to, as we sign off here this evening, we're going to go off to the privacy of our bedrooms or bathrooms, and we're going to do this ritual on our own. And like I said, the purpose of this ritual is to really shed, literally throw off these negative beliefs and step into this new energy. Whether you feel like you have, Angelina Jolie's body, or, I don't know, Salma Hayek or Penelope Cruz's curves or not, I'd be willing to bet that if you embody that energy, no matter what body you actually currently live in, the feeling inside of you, as we experimented a few moments ago, you're still able to connect with that feeling. And that's, isn't that what we want? If we imagine that we had a curvier body or a flatter stomach or bigger breasts, to bring that, we want to experience this feeling of feeling better about ourselves. So that's always the objective in wanting to be more this or less that. But we just learned that through playing with energy, you can bring that experience into yourself no matter what. And isn't that powerful? So think about that and remember that as we step forward into the mirror ritual. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by lighting a candle and standing in front, ideally in front of a full length mirror. And then you're going to slowly start to peel your clothes off in front of this mirror. And as you ideally peel off and throw off your clothes, you're going to name out loud the part of you that you are shedding, that negative belief that you're literally going to throw off. So maybe it's, I'm too fat, throw it off. My hips are too big, throw it off. My belly is too round, throw it off. And as you shed each piece of clothing, and I mean every piece of clothing that you're wearing down to your socks, and in my case, earrings, I'm going to include that as well. Which, by the way, these are one of my favorite earrings that my best friend Vivek made for me. He makes handmade jewelry, and so I just love these. So you're going to literally throw off every piece of clothing and at the same time shed the negative belief that you're holding. And it doesn't have to be connected to whatever piece of clothing you're taking off. Thank you, Heidi. I love these earrings. And you're going to say goodbye. Say goodbye to that fat. Say goodbye to the breasts that are too flat or too big. And yes, Emily, perfect. How about personality traits? Can we add those in? Yes. So we're going to mostly focus on the body, but if you have a personality trait or an emotion, a sense of like the way you think of yourself that is also countering your sensual sexual expression, throw it off. Yeah, throw it off. And you're going to continue to do this until you're absolutely naked in front of the mirror, lit up, hopefully with just the light of the candle. And then you're going to really stand in the now. And ideally, you don't want to get distracted. So have music playing, maybe an empowering song that you love. Because, shedding these energies can feel intense. That's why we're doing it together in this, with the container of our group. And then what I'd love for you to do, so standing there naked, you're going to bring in new beliefs. Say out loud, I am beautiful. I'm curvy, sleek, abundant, sexy, feminine, whatever it is. And again, we're going to put all these instructions down for you so you have it all. And then you're not going to get dressed. In fact, you're going to take a photo of your clothes lying on the floor and you're going to post them here so we know that you did your ritual, myself and Heidi included. And ideally, you're also not going to put those clothes back on. You're going to throw them into the laundry. Anita says, put them on superwash. So whether you wash them tonight or not is not the point, but take them off and put them in the laundry basket. And make sure you take a picture first and share it with us so we know that you did it. And then potentially don't wear that combination of clothes again. So that's the instructions for the ritual. And I'm really excited that we're doing this together because it's such a powerful ritual. And it's so much more fun and empowering to do this kind of stuff and be supported. Even though we're not together, and probably better that we're not, it's important to be able to feel like we're energetically doing it together. So as I said at the beginning of the live cast, this is a powerful full moon. We're in between, the veil is down, and we're in between the worlds, the seen and the unseen. This is an important and powerful time for transformation. It's the new year from the goddess calendar perspective. And how do you want to step in to this next season and year of your life as we shed these old ways of thinking of ourselves and experiencing ourselves? And, I'd love to hear your feedback. So thank you so much for the comments that you've already shared. And Elizabeth says, thank you. It's so inspiring. Yay, Elizabeth. And Kelly Jo, yes, great ritual. Awesome. So we're going to go. We're going to take off. Remember, we want to do this with a sense of sacredness and reverence and connection to ourselves. So put on a beautiful song, light your candle, stand in front of your mirror, and start to shed these old ways of thinking of yourself. Yes, it is totally a new beginning. And remember to take photos so that we could all share in the experience together. It's so nice to have that accountability as well, myself included, which is why I love doing these live casts with all of you. So thank you. And then watch your inbox tomorrow. Not only will we be sharing the replay of tonight's meditation, and you can continue to do this ritual as we go forward. It's not like a one-time only deal. We're also going to be sharing some powerful practices on how to continue doing this work at home and starting to shift that connection to your partner, that relationship with your body. And we're going to tell you in tomorrow's email how to continue doing this work at home. So remember to head straight to the mirror, whether it's right now or later on in the evening, and share with us your pictures on the Facebook page. I'll look forward to hearing from you then, and I'd love to know what this experience has been like for you. So please share your comments and feedback in the comment section below, and let us know what it's been like for you to do the rituals that we did here on the live cast together, and then of course the mirror ritual that you're going to do in private and then share with us. Emily says, I love these full moon events. I feel supported and was feeling overwhelmed and discouraged. This is exactly why we're doing it, Emily. So thank you so much for being here consistently. And I'm so excited to do this with you. All right. So bye for now. And I'll be looking for your photos in a little bit. Happy Samhain, happy full moon, sending you love and blessings to all of you. And then I can't wait to share some more sensual magic with you very soon. Bye for now.